All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Everybody in here knows Pam Pearson. We are going to be doing Facebook advertising today. And this is part of a whole series that goes, about 12 weeks long on command. And we're near the end of it. After today, we only have one more week left of the series. Next week, we'll be talking about the referral network, how you can refer. If you, let's say you have a buyer who wants to buy in another state, that you can refer that out to another Keller Williams agent. That'll be next week. And then there'll be a week where we have the business planning clinic. And then after the business planning clinic, then we'll be starting all over again with the very beginning of the whole command space. And even if you've been playing around with command, you might want to just show up for that class, or at least come in Zoom for the very first one, even though it's sort of the beginning stuff. It's just the entering in contacts and things like that. Sometimes there are things that you might not have figured out on your own. There might be some new things. So, I would take the time to just at least come in Zoom. But we'll be going on and on, to more advanced topics after that. So before we even start working on Facebook ads, I kind of want to set up what this looks like so that you know what we're talking about. Okay, so you can post on your own Facebook for free. That's not what we're doing today. Okay, what we're doing today is Facebook advertising, which is where you run a paid ad on Facebook. And I'm sure you've run into this. When you're on Facebook, on the right side, you see ads that are sort of targeted to you. I don't know if you've ever gone and
what's your
great, if I Google it, if I look at a pair of shoes, the next day I'm seeing that pair of shoes on Facebook, right?
Yes.
So you're one of those advertisers, okay? That's where your ad is showing up. And so what's going to happen is that random strangers who you don't know are going to see a house when they're on Facebook. They're going to see a pretty house and click on it. And then Facebook is going to give you their contact information. You're going to get their phone number and email address and name. Hopefully you'll get all three of those and they'll all be accurate. They might not be, but you'll get that contact info and then you'll be able to start reaching out to them. Just to set expectations, these tend to be people who are not ready to buy a home yet. My experience with it has been mostly that it's people who are just in the very, very beginning stages of thinking about buying a home. They're considering it, they see a pretty house and so they click on it, but they're not all that likely to be ready to go talk to a lender, ready to go out and look at houses. It tends not to be that far along in the process. So these are going to be people that you're going to follow up with for a long time before they get ready to buy. Okay. On the really good part though, is that these are very inexpensive leads. So you're going to pay, I usually spend $30 when I do a Facebook ad. And I'm running my ad for 10 days at $3 a day. And that's my typical ad. Sometimes I'll run a shorter one. For example, let's say that I have an open house coming up. I might run a Facebook ad just for 3 days at $5 a day and spend $15, to try to generate some buyers for that open house. So it's the kind of thing where I'm not putting out a lot of money. I'm going to get every Facebook ad I run, I'll probably get 20 to 40 leads from it. And most of those leads are going to be people that are very far off in the process. They might be looking to rent right now. I'm not expecting them to be ready to go out and talk to a lender or look at homes and buy a house yet. Okay, so as long as you have that expectation, you're going to love Facebook ads because you're getting all of those leads. If you're expecting them to be ready to go get that's just not the experience. They just usually aren't that ready. Now, to make this easier for you to deal with them, when we run Facebook advertising, it's really, really important to use what you have in command to do most of the communicating. I'm going to need to follow up with these leads for 12 or 15 months for a long time. And you don't need to be doing that all by yourself. We need command to do it for us. So when we do this ad, oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So you know what I mean? We're not going to be able to, I don't want to spend 12 or 15 months remembering to call each of those people. What we're doing today is when we set up our ad, we're also going to set that up with a smart plan. And the smart plan is going to be texting onto those people. It'll be emailing them. And then every once in a while, it will send you a task to call them. So when you have all these Facebook ads, what you're doing every day is you're opening up your command and you're calling whoever it tells you to call. You just make those phone calls. Most of the time, those Facebook ads maybe not answer. Maybe they'll answer and they'll be at work. Maybe, you're going to follow up with them for a long time before you get them to the point where they're ready to buy. Okay, so just to set that up, that's kind of where we're going with this. So what we're going to do today is we're going to begin by creating something called a landing page. And the landing page, what I want is when somebody clicks on my Facebook ad, I want it to take them to this landing page so that they can see the house. Okay, so we're going to actually be starting there at the landing page. Then we're going to set up the smart plan that we're going to use. A smart plan again is going to communicate with my lead form. It's going to send text messages, it'll send emails, and then it'll tell me to call them. Okay, so I'm going to put that smart plan on them. And then once I have both of those things, then I'm going to actually design the ads. Okay, so we're kind of doing it in a weird order, but I have to do it that way because of how the Facebook ads work. I've also, on my screen, I've opened up 3 command tabs. You can see that I have the Zoom tab open, but I have expanded it 3 times. So I would encourage you to do the same thing when you're doing almost anything in command, just have a bunch of tabs open. It's just easier not to have to stop what you're doing and get back to a new place. So right now, if you would just go ahead and open up command, get a couple of tabs open. In command, we're going to use all 3 of them. And in order to run a Facebook ad, you must have a Facebook business page connected to your personal page. If you don't already have a Facebook business page, you're going to need to make that right now before you do anything else. You don't have to make it pretty, it just has to exist. If you need more time to do this class, we are, like I said at the beginning, we're going to be moving pretty fast just because it's only really an hour and it's a lot to cover. This is being recorded, and so you can later go and watch it again if you need more time for it. It's just a lot. Out of all of the whole series, this is the one that has the most stuff in it. All right, so we're going to start by making what's called a landing page. I have found by doing Facebook ads, I'm just going to kind of show you some of my results of my Facebook ads, my campaigns here, and just kind of show you the kind of results I've been getting. I've been doing I've done some experimenting with what works for Facebook advertising. And what I found is that the most successful ad is one that advertises a house. Okay. And especially a pretty house. So if you run a Facebook ad asking people if they want like a free home evaluation or something like that, I just don't get them any clicks. Where I really get a lot of clicks is when I have a house, especially if it's really pretty. So that's what you're looking for, is a pretty house. Okay. It also does not matter where that house is, because the people who are looking at your ad don't even know where that house is at all. So I'll just show you some of the ones that I've had. So here's some Facebook ads that I've run. So you can see how many leads I got from each one. So some of these are more than others. Okay. And how much this is the cost per lead. So $1.50, $1.43, $3.75. That's how much I'm spending for each of the leads I've gotten. I've had Facebook ads that got up to 50 leads for like $30. So it just depends on the house. All right, so let's get started. And at any point, please feel free to interrupt me and tell me that you need to go over something, because I won't know if you're lost. So definitely tell me. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by making a landing page. All right, so here's how this is going to look for the person. Okay, so somebody sitting home, browsing Facebook, they see a pretty house, they click on it. Facebook is then going to take them to a page where they verify their phone number and email. And then it's going to take them to a landing page. Here's why I do that. When I first started doing Facebook ads, I didn't do a landing page first. And you know what happened is people got really mad at me because it was 2 a.m. and they're browsing Facebook. And I'm telling them they have to give me their phone number or email to see pictures of this house. And then they did that and they didn't immediately see pictures of the house. And they would get mad. And it was 2 a.m. So I didn't respond to them until the next day. They didn't like it. So what we're doing is we're gonna give them what they want. We're gonna give them pictures of the house that they wanted right away. So, so they're set. If you would like to make a Facebook ad today and you don't have your own listing, you're welcome to use one of mine. I'm always happy to let people use my listings for Facebook ads. If you have your own listing, you can use your own listing. If you want to use a listing from someone else in the brokerage, you just need that agent's permission. Right? And some agents will say yes and some will say no. Okay? But what you're looking for is a pretty house. So we're going to do this in Command. You've taken another class too, but you know these are the applets that are in Command. And the applet we're using today for this landing page is the consumer applet. I was pointing to the wrong one. I only hit the bottom. Sorry, I am. Very bottom one. Okay. All right, consumer applet. And then in the upper right corner, I'm going to click create new page. Okay. And then I'm going to click as a landing page. And click create page. And again, so a landing page is sort of a standalone web page. And this landing page is just going to show me details about one house. The way the landing pages work is all of these things on the right they're called widgets, and these are things that I can have in my landing page. And the one that we want is information about a particular listing. So find the one that says the word listing, and you're just going to drag that onto your page right here. Okay, so I take the button that says listing and I just drag it over. And as soon as I let go, it's going to give me sort of a sandwich there. Yeah, this is just some random house. This isn't my listing, right? So we need to tell Command which house we're using. Okay, so the way we're going to get there, all these little things are always in my way. I'm going to look for the configure widgets button, which is all the way on the bottom. My Zoom stuff's in my way. See configure widgets on the bottom right corner. That's how I can configure, that's how I can change what it's showing right here in this widget. So I clicked configure widgets. And now I can enter in the listing. I'm going to click on the word listing and then click browse listings. Okay, here we're going to select the house that we're going to do a Facebook ad for. All right, I'm going to write down, I have 2 pending listings that are settling today. There's no reason you can't do a Facebook ad on a pending listing. So here's 2 of mine. Right? Pick one of these if you don't have one of your own. If you have one of your own, use yours, or you can get mine. So I have 1820 Arbutus Avenue or 4205 Valley View Avenue. Both of those are they're pending right now. Both of those are renovated houses that are pretty. So at the very top, I'm going to start typing in the address. And then I hit search. Okay. And then it will show you houses with, a similar address. So make sure you're looking, make sure you see my name so that you know you're on the correct house. There's 1820 Arbutus Avenue, or you might be doing the one on Valley View. And all I have to do is hit select. Okay. And once you click select, over on the right side, we have a choice to make. So Command is showing me the photos that are from that listing. You're going to pick one photo to be here, to be the main image that you want. A lot of times people do the outside of the house, but you don't have to. You can use anyone you want. So pick one of these photos, anyone you like, and hit save and apply. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. So all I had to do was select a listing and pick one photo. And here's what Command did. It made this whole landing page for me. So it has one photo of the house at first, but then look what happens if you scroll down and look. It automatically pulled in the address, pulled in the price, pulled in some details about the listing, when it was built, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. If I keep scrolling down, it has my description from the MLS. and all of the photos, they're from the MLS also, plus the map, right? So it just pulls everything in for you. So while everybody's still finishing this, let me just say a couple of things about this. I do a landing page for every single listing I have. Because just imagine this, somebody calls you up, they just saw your sign and they want some information about the house. I'm having a conversation with them, but then after my conversation, I just text them this landing page. And so now, not only do they know about the house, but they can look at pictures, they can see the price, you know, everything's right there and updated. And later on, let's say I change the price, or something gets fixed and I add some new photos or whatever, it's automatically going to update. So, or if I change the text in my listing, it'll update, which is terrific because then you've got that communication out there that's going to automatically update all the time. Now, what it doesn't have yet is your contact info. We want that. We want to have your phone number there and your email address. Okay, so let's do that. The bottom, I'm going to hit save and apply. The bottom right corner. And then at the top where it says listing and there's a little arrow pointing to the left, I'm going to click that arrow and then I'm going to click done. Okay, I should be back at this point where I'm finished. And now I'm going to add one more thing. So I added a listing before. Now I'm going to add agent branding. To get the agent branding, same thing as you did before. I'm going to go to this agent branding unit, and I want that to be at the bottom. I want it below the listing. So I'm going to drag this all the way to the very bottom. Don't drag it to the top or your agent branding will be at the top. Okay, so I'm taking agent branding, I'm dragging it kind of at the bottom of the screen. And then if I scroll down, okay, it automatically pulled in my contact info. It took that from my marketing profile. So my photos there, my phone number's there, the address, all that just plops right in. Again, just like we did before, I'm going to click configure widgets, click on agent branding and make sure everything is good here. See if there's anything you need to add or anything you need to correct. And then save and apply. Okay, so making a landing page, I mean, I can do that in seconds now. Like it just hardly takes any time at all. You might as well do that for every single listing you have. So what we're going to do, here's what you should see. You should see listing and agent branding. Both of them should have a green check mark next to them. The green check mark means that they're done. In the upper left corner, I'm going to type a name for this landing page. I usually do the property address to make it easier later. Okay. And then I'm going to click done. And then I'm going to click publish page. All right, so now that landing page is going to show up. If I click on landing pages, it's here. And I can click on that URL and copy it. I could share it with anybody at any point. It's right there. All right, so we did step one. We made a landing page. I'm just going to leave that open and go to my next tab. And then I'm going to make a quick smart plan. I'm not going to be able to get all the details of smart plans today. That's a whole separate class. So all we're going to do right now is take a smart plan that I already put in the library for us. We're going to download it, modify it a little bit and use it. But I really encourage you to come back to the smart plans class sometimes because there's a lot more to this. I just don't have time to get into it today. So earlier I had you make a separate tab, right? So we're going to go to your other tab of command. I'm leaving the landing page here. I made a new tab. And on the left side, I'm going to click on smart plans. Again, we can't get into everything about smart plans today, but if you click on library and then just type my name in the search bar, just type in Kirsten, you're going to see a smart plan that I put in the library for us to use today. Okay, so in library, I type Kirsten. And then I'm going to see Kirsten sample Facebook ads smart plan. And this is just something, so we have something to work with today. The bottom right corner, you're going to click add smart plan and download it. All right, so now that I added it, I can click my smart plans. And then you'll see my Kirsten sample Facebook ad smart plan. To edit that smart plan, I can just click on that pencil to the right. And then I can start editing my smart plan. All right, so once you open up the smart plan, now you can edit it. Like whatever I have in here is not exactly what you would say it differently. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, we're not going to spend the time doing it today, because it'll take a while, but I would say just spend some time looking through the smart plans and make sure that it says what you want it to do. So this one starts out with a text. Okay, and the text says, hi, contact first name, thanks for taking a look at the homes I put on Facebook. This is agent name with Kelly Williams, blah, 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 blah. Then here's a link to the home you were interested in. Okay, right here, I'm gonna have a link to that house that they wanted. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going back to my other tab. Remember how I said to make 2 tabs? In my landing page tab, I'm clicking on the URL for my landing page, and I'm gonna just copy that URL, go to my smart plan, and paste it in. So now they get the link. I love this, because here's what happens to me all the time. I'm doing, the Facebook ad is running, and I'm doing something else. I'm here teaching a class, I'm working with a buyer, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, right? That person clicks on the Facebook ad, they're getting a text from me right away without me even knowing that it happens. This smart plan is going to run automatically without you doing anything, so that it will automatically text them even without you telling the command to text them. Okay. I probably would put a call task at the beginning too, not just a text. So in my smart plans, I actually have a lot more activity up front. This is just sort of a sample I downloaded, just have something in here. Okay, but if you scroll through, you can see there's just, there's a bunch of steps that happen here, right? It sends text messages, it sends emails, and it's giving me tasks to make a phone call. Okay. How are we doing on that so far? Yeah.
So for the landing page, we would probably need a different form.
So here's what happens with Facebook. Facebook does its own lead gen, own contact form. So what Facebook will do is it'll take it to a page that asks their email, phone number, and name first, and then go to this landing page.
Oh, I didn't, okay.
Yeah, and what's really great about that is because you're doing it within Facebook, that their contact info is already entered in, and they just have to click save. They don't actually have to type it, which makes them way more likely to fill it out. Yeah, exactly. Good question.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's really, so once you've done this a lot, I can do a Facebook ad in like 5 minutes. It doesn't, including the landing page, like landing page, people can, I'll also, I wrote a Facebook ad smart plan. And then every Facebook ad, I just duplicate it and just change the address. That's all I'm doing each time. I don't spend a whole bunch of time writing the smart plan each time. The first time you do it, and then you just get to copy it over and over and over again. Okay. All right, so let's save this. Oh, before we save it, I would typically change the smart plan name to also match the property address so that I'm keeping things straight. And while we're here, just one more thing that I would do, just as an extra hint. In all of my call tasks, where it says call contact, under the description, I'm going to put the property address there. And the reason I do that is I'm using my, just check this correctly. I'm using my command app a lot for phone calls. Okay, so instead of calling from my laptop, I'm using the app on my phone all the time. And one of the things I run into is when I have a call task, it's just not as easy to realize why I was calling them. And what's going to happen to you is if you're running Facebook ads, you're going to have one phone call where you're calling somebody who called you on Facebook, and then the next phone call is somebody who had an open house. And the next phone call is like a likely seller. They're all mixed up, right? You're not only calling one type of lead at a time. So it just will make life a lot easier for you if in the description, anytime there's a phone call, you write yourself a note that only you see about why you're calling that person. Property address is a good thing, you know? Because otherwise you have to keep going back to the notes to see where you met this person. All right, so I'm gonna hit save. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on this smart plan. Come back though to my smart plans class or watch the recording of it online because there's so much that you can do with smart plans. We just don't have time to get into today. Okay, 1820. Great. All right, so save, and then I get out, I click the left arrow to get out of that smart plan. All right. So we do two things, right? So the first thing we did is we made a landing page that people can go to when they want to see the Facebook ad. The second thing we did is we made a smart plan, and that smart plan is what's going to run when somebody clicks on the Facebook ad. Now we're ready to actually make the Facebook ad. Had to do all that stuff ahead of time. All right, so I'm just going to leave those tabs open. In the beginning, I made 3 tabs so that I could just leave those other 2 open. Okay, so I'm on a new tab. And the one that I'm looking for, the applet, is this one right here that looks like a bullhorn. It just says campaigns. Okay. Your screen is probably going to look different than mine. Does yours look different? Way different. You're getting updated stuff. Okay, interesting. You may have, I probably mentioned before, I'm a labs advisor. And what that means is that I am using a version of Command that you're going to have in a few months. I'm doing all the beta testing and I'm offering, you know, suggestions and things like that. So sometimes mine looks a little different. And Facebook ads is something that they've been working. So might look a little different. So I'm going to start off. I'm in campaigns. And I'm going to click create campaign in the upper right corner. Okay, and then I have a choice. What type of campaign am I doing? I'm going to do a paid ad. When we do this today, we're going to do this all the way up to the point where you put a credit card info, and then I'm going to click cancel. Because I want you to be able to spend a little more time on your smart plan. Choose an actual property you want to do, you know, so it's less important that we get it going today, more important that you understand. Does your screen look very, very different from mine right now? Okay, this is, pretend you don't see this, okay? All right. Yeah, just pretend you don't see it, and yours, I'm gonna have to connect with my Facebook. All right, so on yours, you want to choose the option. See. Okay, I want to do the advertise listing options. Okay, the reason I'm going to do the advertise listing option is if I don't do advertise listing, I'm going to not be able to choose all the pictures and things from a listing. So even if your real interior, you know, in what you're really thinking, my motive is really I want buyers. We do advertise listing because that's what we want to have the pictures from the listing. And again, yours is going to look different than mine. Okay. Next, I'm going to choose the listing that I want to advertise. So choose advertise listing. Oh, and at the bottom, choose where you want to advertise. You could do Facebook, you could do Instagram, you could do both. If you're going to pay more money, yeah, so just for now, we can do just Facebook if you want, or just Instagram if you want. And then like we did before, we're going to choose the listing that we want to use. And again, your screen will look different from mine, but you should be able to get to a screen where you can search for a listing. All right, so you're going to go to, we're going to go over to campaigns, this little, okay. Yep, create campaign, choose Facebook. Okay, you're gonna have to maybe create campaign, might have to choose this one too. Okay, social ad, paid advertise listing. Put test right there because we don't care what it's called. Okay, at the bottom, Facebook. So scroll down, we're gonna get to link here, Facebook. Do you want to connect? Do it now, yes. Right here, you can't. Now we're on the connect account.
Facebook's
Facebook's not connected.
Okay,
not on.
okay, scroll down, go past there's Facebook's in here twice, go to the second one, up a little higher, there we go. Please remember your password, I would be trouble.
She hasn't gone.
Okay, good. All right, so search on a property address, the same one we did before, 1820 Arbutus Avenue with 4205 Valley View.
Didn't try.
Yeah.
One try.
Good job.
I'm usually sitting there like, cause I have like 4 different
I
passwords.
know, me too.
I'm like,
You say
not
get in, hit reset password.
Okay.
The
Search.
way to confirm
Not
is-
seeing it. Oh, you know what? Here it says only my listings, choose all listings there, and instead of active, do all. Statuses. Okay, and there it is. Yep, exactly. And there's no reason you can't run a Facebook ad on a house that has already sold. You're just gonna change the text so that it doesn't sound like you're selling a house that's still available. Okay, totally fine. Good. Again, if it's not your listing, you just need permission. Now we just start going through it step by step. So you're going to see some text, a swap for some text.
All right, we're all set up.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so start working on it. Here's the text. That text came in automatically from the listing. You can change it if you want. And then you're gonna keep going down and changing the text that's in each spot. As you change it, on the right side, there's a picture of what the Facebook ad is gonna look like, and you're gonna see it change in real time as you adjust your advertising. All right, that's looking good.
Do you want me to connect account? Do
Is that?
you want me to hit the connect?
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, you can just go over to campaigns. Right, keep going. Make that Facebook, you're gonna be doing it quick too.
Great campaign.
Great campaign, social ad page, advertise listing, test.
What do you normally put for the headline?
So some different things you can put there. He wants an eye catch, she's gotta be right here is where it's gonna show up. I think it's 25 characters you can use. So you don't get to say very much.
Right.
You know, you can just say like beautiful house,
Okay.
you know, buy it now or something, you know, just. It has very little space.
What property obviously we want?
1820 Arbutus Avenue. Very good. Okay, so when you get to the one that's description, I want to show you, notice that there's a shuffle button. If you hit that shuffle button, it's gonna put in some suggestions for text for you. Okay, but you can do whatever you want, figure out what you'd like. Put in some text.
Where's the shop?
It's under description.
Maybe that's the only thing.
Yeah, she has it.
Aha, there we go.
See, right here. Yeah, she's got a show. Yeah. I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out. Those of you who use ChatGPT, this is a really good place to have it figure out some words for you. All right. You see 1820 Arbutus?
I don't see it too.
So change where it says status instead of active, make that all statuses and yeah, because it's pending. Yeah. But the key is with this, now you just are kind of going step by step. So just keep going through. You got the text, you go to the media. So you're choosing some photos. Okay, and so what we want to do, I don't want 30 photos there. I want them to click the link and to see more. So I'm gonna put like 3 to 5 photos. Yeah, just enough to get their interest going. Just 3 to 5 photos. And again, everything you're doing, you just keep looking on the right side, you can see what it's gonna look like. So it's automatically changing as you go.
Yeah. We already typed something in, but you guys, not typed it, it shows up.
Oh, that's right.
I wouldn't actually.
Yeah.
There you go, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Okay, so finish your text, finish your media, and. Yep, so we get it, and just pick 2, you can later you do 3 or 4. Okay, I don't want just 1 though, I want like at least, try at least 3, and it does a carousel, so somebody can look through those few photos before deciding that they want to click on. What you want.
So once you go, then it's going to come back in.
Use the prop, like each one, you want.
Yeah. Because it's gotta be a square, and they are square, you know.
I would do it more.
Yeah, so that's great, you know, just have a couple.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, is the best. Yeah, square is the best. Yeah, so look what it's looking like, so somebody can see a few photos right there. Yeah, okay.
Question,
Yeah.
so when we're choosing what socials to campaign to, we
Yeah.
can choose multiples like Facebook and Instagram, or just one
You
at
can.
a time?
Yeah, you can do both at the same time and just throw a little more money at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done our text, we're done our media. Can everybody go ahead and go to Facebook settings and hit configure? If you're not done, and you want to go back to your text, come back later because we only have 10 more minutes. I need to move on. Okay, so when we go to configure under Facebook settings, okay, we've got some choices here. Yes, yeah, we're in Facebook settings. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So first of all, one thing you have got to do, this is definitely a thing to do. Click this button right here, Facebook lead generation form recommended. You 100% want that one. You do not want to do your own landing page for getting their information. And here's why. If you choose the Facebook lead generation form, then Facebook's going to automatically put in their phone number, their name, and their email. They don't have to type it themselves, and they are 100 times more likely to give you their phone number. Definitely do that one.
One of the problems is there's not a Facebook page.
Okay, so you don't have a business page.
I do have.
Okay, so try refreshing the list. You might have to log out and log back in again, and if that happens, for now, we'll just scroll through and not worry about it, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so we chose Facebook lead generation form. You can choose what button you want. Learn more is probably the one you want, right? Let's see if there's something else that you'd like better, but let's just do learn more is fine. Okay, and then, so here, so just imagine this, so somebody clicks on the Facebook ad, automatically it's taking them to a Facebook lead generation form where their phone number and their email and their name are already there, and they just have to hit OK. And then it's going to take them, we want it to take them to the landing page you made. Okay, so to get to that, like you're probably, it's not going to be there if you didn't do it, but if you hit choose landing page, you can select the landing page that we just made a few minutes ago. And then that's what they're going to see, and that will just greatly improve their customer experience. Just because they're money for now, I can worry about it. You know, it doesn't really matter, you know, for now, we'll come back to it.
So are we clicking
Yes,
Facebook lead gen?
we're gonna choose, yeah, we did Facebook lead generation form we want.
So we are clicking that.
We are clicking that, the Mike is doing his command up here, and it's not letting him on his page, but you
Oh,
should.
okay,
that one.
got you.
Yeah, and then you're going to do choose landing page to select the landing page that they're gonna see next. All right, scroll down, Mike. Okay, now the audience, so who is going to see this? The auto audience is Facebook is just gonna choose an audience around your listing, okay? Try custom audience, so click on custom audience. I want to show you a couple things you can do here. So the first thing, one that I love, is target my database. How sneaky is that? You can make a Facebook ad, and the only people who see it are the people in your database. Isn't that interesting? Really cool. Okay, because then they're just seeing you there on Facebook. Okay, but here's another thing you can do. Instead of that, I want to use a custom audience, not my database. Let's do a custom audience. If you scroll down, you're going to see add interests, and you can have this show to people who are Googling certain things. Like, I want people who are looking on Zillow to see this Facebook ad. I want people who are searching on first-time home buyer to see this ad. So hit add interests, and then you'll see a long list of interests that you could do. Don't do too many. Okay, that's right. Yeah, this is so short that I realized you searched. I wouldn't do a lot, okay? Because the thing is, you're going to loop the ad to people who aren't really interested. Zillow is a good one. The first-time home buyer is a good one. But then there might be others that sort of match what you're looking for, or that type of property you have. Maybe there's something that's even better. So you could do Zillow, you could do Realtor.com. Scroll through, see if there's any others that fit what you're looking for. Like, I think I might be making this up. I think one time I had a building that had like a lot of lands and farms, and I was able to choose the horse thing there or something. I don't remember if that's true, or if I chose the horse. I may have gotten the horse somewhere else, and now I'm not remembering from this from that. But you kind of get the idea. So I can just have like Facebook do it and send it to that whole area, or I can choose some certain audiences. Okay. You're gonna play with that later. So go ahead and hit OK. You have time to play with it on your own. I'm gonna go to lead settings. So go to lead settings and hit configure. Okay, and here's what we're choosing. You get the idea. You have choices, but you can play with them later. Okay, so lead settings. What should happen to leads when they come in? First of all, I want to put a tag on. Okay, so what tags might you put? Buyer. Yeah, buyer lead. Yeah, because these are probably buyers. Maybe you have a tag for Facebook. Maybe you don't. You know? But on mine, I have buyer lead and Facebook are the tags I use, but you might do something different on yours. Okay, so just go ahead and get the buyer tag. That's good enough. Okay. Great. Okay. So as many tags as you want, you can put there. And then I want to choose a smart plan. So we just made a smart plan. And so we're going to select that smart plan. Awesome. Yeah. All right, so we're almost done the whole ad. Okay, so we had the tags it's going to add, and we added a smart plan. No, we're not trying to make it perfect now. We're trying to quickly go over all the steps, and then you're going to play with it later and make it perfect and take a long time. That's totally fine. We just only have 5 minutes. So, okay, so that's smart plan is really important. We just did one today just to have something there, but please come back to the smart plans class, because in reality, when I run a Facebook ad, I have multiple smart plans that are linked to each other for 2 years of follow-up. So here's what happens when I run a Facebook ad. Somebody clicks on that Facebook ad, fan gets their contact info, and then right away they're getting a text without me even knowing it's happening. Fan just does automatically sending that text out. And I also get a task for myself to call them on day one. I call them right away. but I might be in the middle of something. Like right now, if an ad came, lead came through, I'm busy doing this and I have the huddle after this for Legacy All-Stars. So it's, the smart plan is letting me go do my own thing. And this is just happening without me doing anything. So for that customer, their experience is they click on a house, right away, they're getting a text with pictures of that house. They're getting an email with pictures of the house. So both of those are covered. And then when I have a chance, so if it's at night, I'm probably calling the next day. If I'm in the middle of a class, I'm probably calling that afternoon, but then they're getting a phone call from me. And for 2 years, they're getting communication from me. 2 years. But if any of you in Legacy All-Stars, you're using the same plan already, that online lead start is the same thing that I use personally. It's the 2 years of follow-up for a buyer. Next, we need to do that. Okay, last little section is duration and budget. So go ahead and scroll down to that. Expand that out. You choose how much money you want to spend on it. So I typically do, 10 days, $3 a day. But there might be situations where you do something shorter. Like I will quite often when I have an open house, I'll run a Facebook ad just for a few days right between that open house, advertise, bless you. I'll advertise the open house. So I might do an ad for 3 days, $5 a day. So I'm spending $15 to get the word out. Maybe you're gonna do it even longer. It's totally up to you. You can do as many days as you want, put as much money you want into it. But $30 is a good place to start. So the first time you do it, try $30, $3 a day for 10 days and see what happens.
How is it paid? Your credit card or through you?
You have a credit card that you should have in your command. And it'll be charged to that credit card. Yeah, good question.
Is it charged upfront $30 or per daily?
It
$30.
charges me up one charge of $30. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I would absolutely just try it. So what your experience will be when you get these leads, the way it comes in is you're going to get a notification in command. So here's my command app on my phone. I get a little notification on my command app. I'll see the notification also in my desktop version of command. Okay. And then that lead is already entered in there. And if you set it up with the smart plans, it's already started the smart plan by the time you look at it. By the time you see it, they already got a text and an email. They may have actually sometimes people will respond to the text and text me back, and I don't even know that anything's happened so far. So it really, that's the whole key. The key to making this work for you is smart plans. Because if you aren't using smart plans really well, you're going to be overwhelmed trying to communicate with these people over 2 years. You use a smart plan, doesn't matter, command's just doing it. You have Twilio set up texting them, you're sending emails, every once in a while you call, and it's not too bad. So I'm not going to do it, but if we were to click publish campaign, we'd be charging Mike's credit card $30 and running an ad right now. Well, so we won't do that.
It's not.
That's right.